AC, I'm going to come to you first. Talk to me about the Hawks Spurs total. Biggest number on the board. The Hawks offensively have been cooking, and we know the Spurs have been struggling. Talk to me about the total.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams played to the over. The Hawks are 10-7 on the over for the year. The Spurs play zero defense, guys. They're 12-5 on the over. Even though they have, potentially one of the, more versatile defenders, we see when Wemby's out there, he can guard multiple positions and also like defend at the rim. He's really good at that. But for some reason, the Spurs play really fast. They also have a ton of guys that can put a lot of points up, right? Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Wemby can get hot. So, I mean, this is a team, in my opinion, where Pop just wants to run. And we kind of talked about we talked about the game. I forgot which team it was last night. It was the Suns. Even though the Suns didn't play well, they're for the most part in the half court. They're the superior team. So when you're the superior team, you don't need to run. Just run your offense, right? Play your guys, and you're gonna get a good shot. You have, three. I mean, they're not healthy right now, but they have three of the best mid-range guys in the NBA. Now you look at the Spurs. They don't really have a set offense. They're inferior to basically everyone they play, so they have to run. They have to pick up the pace, and I think because of that, the games have been going over. I like it. When we look at the full board, and I'm kind of coming, talking off a tangent right here, but let's say there's 8 games on the board. You look at, so I'm not a big totals guy, but you look at, what the highest total is that game or that night, and you look at what the lowest total is that night. Most people like to go the under on the highest and the over on the lowest. I'm actually different. I think it's high for a reason. I think it's low for a reason. And I'm always going to, err on that side. And this is the highest total of the night, so I'm going to go on the over there.
Yeah, when we saw that biggest spread of the year with the Hawks and the Pacers, people were nervous about laying that big number to the over, and it absolutely ran through by like 30 or 40 points. So that is a key. And I know, Jay, you're laughing because I listened to the pod with you and Matt and the rest of the gang, and you were talking about that game in particular, and it was like, this game in my system sets up to be like 270. And that would have been short as well, but it would have been a lot closer to the number that was posted. Jay, when looking at totals and looking at that spot, overall, how do you feel about that spot? And talk to me about Atlanta. How do you overall feel about Trae Young now, who's come on a little bit? He's been shooting the ball a lot better than he did to start the year. DeJounte Murray, in my opinion, I still don't think gets enough touches, gets enough looks on the offensive side of the ball. Talk to me about that total, that big number against the Spurs, and then just Atlanta overall.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to talk about the Spurs because, I mean, first off, this team is 3-14 straight up on the season. They're 1-8 at the house, where you're supposed to play your better basketball. Even if you're a team that's not that good, young team. I could go off on a tangent here. I don't understand why they keep running Sochan at the point guard. This is absolutely horrific. If you look at his plus minus with Wemby on the floor and then opposed to Trey Jones, it's almost like they're trying to lose on purpose, just like systematically, just by continuing to start Jeremy Sochan. So that's something that really hurts my soul as a basketball player. I don't understand it. This guy turns the ball over like it's crazy. He doesn't make the right reads. I've seen in the last game they had a 2-on-1 with Wemby, and he decided to pass the ball out to the 3-point line like a contested three. It's absolutely horrible basketball. The Spurs actually have a better team than they have better players than what they're playing like. I guess if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So I'd like for the Spurs to be playing better. I'd like to take them here plus the points, but I do know that Wemby's questionable here. The Spurs are on a long losing streak. You got the Hawks; they're coming off 2 straight losses as well. A game where they got smacked versus the Cavs. So defensively, the Hawks, I mean, you want me to talk about the Hawks. The Hawks are another team. They're supposed to be a lot better than what they play. They actually have defenders on the floor. For whatever reason, man, they don't like playing defense. So I could never talk you off and over with the Hawks or the Spurs or the Pacers for that matter as well. This total is high at 246, but neither one of these teams, they like to run and gun, and they don't like to play a lot of defense. So this over definitely should cash in this particular game. Look towards the side. I couldn't even tell you, man, because I can't rely on either one of these teams.
Jay Money said, free Zach Collins, free Deontay Hunter, DeAndre Hunter. Free the guys that can play from these rough situations.
Keldon Johnson.
Keldon Johnson. I love Keldon Johnson's game, an absolute offensive force. But yeah, I feel you. You look at that San Antonio roster, and they shouldn't be at the bottom of the barrel like the Detroit Pistons are, who can't seem to get out of the bottom of the barrel. But that's for a whole another podcast.